The other day I flew from Denver to New Orleans and back in under 12 hours, covering over 2,500 miles. My plane was late in arriving in New Orleans, so I didn't have much time. I stopped at Leah's Cafe for a fried shrimp po' boy, which I had been craving for so long. Then I made my way over to meet this little guy. Since I've never traveled with a puppy, I decided that it might be beneficial to go over some of the things that I brought with me. So I have a 20-liter bag that I normally use for hiking, as well as I purchased a carrying cage for him. So at the airport, on the way there, I just carried these on my back, and this folds up quite nicely with the handles. Once there, you can open it and he fits inside. So I had to check him in, and they gave me a pet pass. Moving on to my hiking bag, I have on the outside some hand sanitizer just in case. Just traveling through the airport, since he's not fully vaccinated, because he is so young, I wanted to make sure I was able to quickly wipe my hands. I also brought a bottle of water that I refilled once I got past security. I found an area in the airport that was pretty secluded away from people, so I propped myself up against the wall, and I had purchased a picnic table cover on Amazon. It's waterproof, and since he hasn't had all of his puppy shots yet, he has a strict no paws on the ground rule. So this was able to allow him to move around quite a bit and play with his toys without getting on the carpet and getting any kind of germs on him. So I laid this out in the corner and I let him play around on it. Next up, I had a bag full of little goodies or essentials, paper towels, some poop bags if necessary, which we didn't need luckily, and then some wet wipes just in case there were any accidents. I could clean it up really quickly. I also brought with me a little bit of newspaper to line his kennel bag, a leash and collar so I could put the collar on him immediately. My idea was to put the leash on him to kind of contain him, but he didn't move off the picnic table cover much at all. I was able to just use his collar to kind of hold him back, but I think the leash is still very, very useful. I also brought a blanket that I made. It had our scent, my dog's, as well as our scent on it, and I put this in his carrying kennel once we got on the plane. I brought a couple of toys for him to play with, which this helped keep him occupied. We had about 2.5 hours between me picking him up and our flight, so this was a lot of fun for him to play with. And then finally on his end, I brought a collapsible water bowl, which I used, and he was able to drink out of it. When we met the breeder, she gave us some dog food, which I used the collapsible water bowl to feed him, as well as a little stuffy, lamb stuffy with his mother's scent on it. So I used this on the edge of the picnic table cover, and then it's got a clicker that has the heartbeat, so it kind of helped him to go to sleep once we were on the plane. It was time to board the flight. I went ahead and put the newspaper down in the bottom of the travel carrier, along with his little blanket and his little lamb stuffy, so he had plenty of softness to sleep on, and just zipped up the top. I was able to keep this open a little bit prior to takeoff so that I could pet him and play with him and comfort him. Once the engine started and the plane took off, he fell right asleep and slept the rest of the flight. So this worked really well, and we didn't have any issues. It was a great flight and we were glad to be home.